Hello everyone and welcome to the redemption round of the Budget Rally Tournament. I don't have anything else to say, so let's get into it. So, for this round, we're gonna be racing at Sardinia Windmills. But thanks to a certain someone speaking up, we're only doing 2 races of 8. So fuck it, 5 laps. And so with that, let the redemption round begin. So, for the first heat, we have Zeep Sheep, Jabulani, Terra, Marzo, 454, HO Bowtie, Ika, Thunderstorm Gaming, and V. With that being said, let's begin the race. And here we go. Right off the bat, Jabulani and everybody behind him managed to successfully overtake Zeep Sheep in the first 10 seconds. Although Bowtie and Thunderstorm Gaming did get cock-blocked for a bit. And as a result, they have a bit of ground to cover up. While in the front, Terra, Marzo, and V managed to successfully overtake Jabulani, and so did Ika on this corner, although he did get cock-blocked for a bit. And he also manages to overtake Marzo while he's at it alongside Bowtie, who managed to successfully catch back up. And then after going through the long corner, Thunderstorm Gaming managed to successfully catch back up. And then he overtakes Marzo on this corner and then tries to overtake Jabulani but fails. And farther into the front, you can see Bowtie trying to catch up to Ika. But as you can see, he doesn't seem to be succeeding as of right now. Quite surprisingly, Terra is managing to keep first place, as his cock-blocking seems to be very successful at the moment. And so on this braking zone to uphill section, Ika manages to successfully catch up to both of them. And same goes for Bowtie, as he's not too far behind him. While in the back, Thunderstorm Gaming has managed to successfully overtake Jabulani and now is off to try to catch back up to them. While he does that, Bowtie tries to catch up to Ika and to overtake him. And so they all drift their way into this corner as the second lap is about to start. Meanwhile, poor Marzo and Thunderstorm Gaming are getting left in the dust slowly, as they are struggling a lot in terms of catching up to their competition. But maybe things will change as the race goes on, who knows? And I guess Marzo managed to successfully catch up to Thunderstorm Gaming, but not quite enough to overtake him though. Meanwhile, Bowtie is struggling to catch up to Ika and V is struggling to overtake Terra, as he is not letting some Jelonek Evo ruin his chance at making it to round 2. And so they make it through the long corner and into this section of the track, which is where Terra manages to successfully gain some time over V. But V is not gonna let that stop him from trying to catch up regardless. And Bowtie manages to successfully catch up to Ika, but he is unfortunately unable to overtake him. While on this corner, V manages to successfully gain back the time he lost to Terra, and then he tries to overtake but fails yet again. Which, because he is getting cock-blocked, Ika is slowly, but steadily, managing to catch up. But the same cannot be said about Thunderstorm Gaming, as he made little to no progress in catching up to Bowtie. Speaking of Bowtie, this lap he made absolutely no progress in taking the podium away from Ika. And so did V in taking first place away from Terra. Anyways, now they all make it into the final corner where they have a chance to build up some speed. And Ika manages to do just that, as he almost managed to overtake V on this corner. And we end off the second lap like that. 1 second. I don't give a shit that my controller's almost dead! Anyways, where was I? Oh yeah, let's see if the third lap will have some action unlike the second lap. And there already seems to be quite a bit of action, as Ika tries to overtake V but fails. And V himself is still trying to catch up and to overtake Terra, as he is just not willing to give up first place. But we are literally only halfway through the race, so things still might take a turn. Anyways, here they go through the long corner, and Bowtie tries to overtake Ika for the millionth time, and failed for the millionth time. Also, a bit off topic, but you may be wondering, what is it that made these classic muscle cars so fast all of a sudden? Well, I have no idea either. Anyways, it seems like Thunderstorm Gaming has made some progress in catching back up, but the same cannot be said about Marzo, nor Jabulani or Zeepshi. But enough of that, the action between Terra and V only intensifies as they make their way to the braking zone. And even after everything that happened, Ika is still managing to hold off Bowtie. And so they make their way to the braking zone, where absolutely nothing changes, as Ika is still third and Bowtie is still fourth. And so they both drift their way through the braking zone, and it looks like Bowtie managed to successfully overtake Ika. But then Ika overtakes Bowtie back. And even if nothing changed in terms of who places where, the third lap is still less boring than the second lap. And now that we are reaching the start-finish straight, let's see if the same thing will apply to the fourth lap. And while these two are having their cute battle, Thunderstorm Gaming is slowly, but steadily, catching up to fourth place. Anyways, it looks like Ika overshot the corner, but it was unfortunately not enough for Bowtie to overtake him. And yes, I'm using Mirage as a background song because I don't have anything else to fill in the static. Anyways, Bowtie is done messing around and is now trying to overtake Ika for real. And so after 4 laps, he finally manages to overtake Ika, while Thunderstorm Gaming once again made some progress in catching back up, while Marzo's just way too far behind to even be able to. And no offense, but I think we all knew Jabulani and Zeepsheep were gonna be eliminated in this race. And so, Terra, V, Bowtie, and Ika all make it to this section where the battle only gets more intense. And so Terra makes it through this corner into the jumps, and Zeepsheep comes out of nowhere and cockblocks him. As a result, he lost a lot of speed and got overtaken by all three, Ika, Bowtie, and V. Man, what a butterfly effect. While in the back, unlike Terra, Thunderstorm Gaming easily managed to avoid Zeepsheep and make it to the braking zone with no problem, which allows him to catch up a bit more. And so the fellers make it through the uphill section and into the downhill. And so with that, this ended up being the most eventful lap yet. And I don't think anything that happens on the 5th lap will be just as eventful. Anyways, it looks like even after what happened earlier, the General Lee is still holding up. And with 1 lap remaining, we're about to see if the Charger really lives up to its name. And Bowtie is now in 2nd, as he no longer has to worry about being beaten by Terra. And V now gets the pleasure of being in 1st place. And I think Ika is still battling against Bowtie regardless of if he wins or not. As for Thunderstorm Gaming, I think at this point he just gave up at trying to catch back up to the others, as he is just unable to prevent the inevitable. And same goes for Marzo, except for him the case is that I can't even see him, that's how far behind he is. While Bowtie is managing to successfully keep up with V. And so they both make it to this corner where V almost gets overtaken by Bowtie. But he knows better than to give up easily and decides not to let him overtake. In the meantime, Thunderstorm Gaming tries to catch back up while he still can, as the 308 seems to be winning against the Charger, which isn't good, especially for the classic muscle car club. But unfortunately for Thunderstorm Gaming, the Charger's demise is not enough for him to catch up to it, as the Charger makes it to the final section of the track. And just so I'm not dragging things out for too long, V manages to finish 1st and is moving on to the 2nd round, and so is Bowtie, who finished 2nd, and Ika, who finished 3rd. And Terra's Charger takes the last spot into round 2 for this race. And it looks like Thunderstorm Gaming, Martso, Jabulani, and Zeepsheep are now eliminated for good. For the second heat, we have Gambling, Walta, Mavis, I Hate God, Cassius, Interrupting Octopus, Apollo, and Drip KA. And here we go. Right off the bat, Mavis and I Hate God alongside Walta managed to overtake Gambling and are now trying to build up an early lead. But things don't seem to be going their way, as Interrupting Octopus and Drip KA both managed to break out of the cog block as well, and are now trying to overtake through the downhill and into the long corner. But will they succeed? We're about to find out. Meanwhile in the back, Cassius managed to break out of Walta's cock blocking, while Apollo is still stuck behind Gambling, as he's just unable to overtake the Jeep at the moment, which isn't good because now he has a lot of ground to cover. And so with that in mind, he squeezes through the gap that doesn't exist and overtakes both of them. And now he is off on his long journey to catch back up. And while he does that, Mavis has managed to build up a decent lead while I Hate God is busy cock-blocking Octopus. And Cassius is losing against Drip KA in the battle for 4th place, as they all make their way to the braking zone, which is where Drip KA manages to catch up to Octopus, but unfortunately does not overtake him. And so we go on to the uphill section where the race only gets closer. And on this corner, I Hate God really did say, "You shall not pass" to Octopus, while Cassius is fighting against Drip KA and Apollo is struggling to catch back up. And going into the second lap, they all try to build up some speed on this section of the track. And they manage to do just that, as Cassius almost manages to overtake Drip KA on the start-finish straight. Meanwhile on the podium, things just suck for Octopus, as he is just unable to overtake I Hate God, as her blocking attempt seems to be very successful at the moment, which allowed Mavis to build up a lead as a result, as her GTO just massively improved in terms of performance. And so she makes it through the long corner while I Hate God is busy cock-blocking Octopus and Drip KA is battling against Cassius for 4th place. And so let's see how much things will change as we are heading into the speedy section of the track. But first, they gotta make it through this annoying jump. And now that that's taken care of, here they go. Cassius overshoots this corner a bit, causing him to lose a bit of time. And thanks to that, Drip KA has managed to build up a bit of a gap over him. And on the podium, what's that? Octopus managed to overtake I Hate God? But thanks to him overshooting the corner, she manages to overtake him back. And that maneuver also allowed Drip KA to catch back up to him a bit. And so we enter the uphill with Mavis's lead as big as always. And I Hate God's cock blocking allowed Drip KA and Cassius to catch up to Octopus. But it's unfortunately not enough for Apollo to catch back up. And on this corner, Drip KA tried to overtake Octopus but failed. Now, unlike the first heat, the second lap was actually pretty eventful. And I hope the same goes for the third lap. And so on these jumps, Octopus is struggling to catch up to I Hate God because of how much the Tuscan slides. And because of that, he almost lost the podium to Drip KA. And so Cassius tries to overtake Drip KA but ends up overshooting the corner instead. And so on this corner, I Hate God goes on the outside a lot more than usual, which allowed Octopus to overtake her. And tragedy strikes once again as she is also getting overtaken by Drip KA. And now she has to deal with not getting overtaken by Cassius. And now Drip KA is off to catch up to Octopus, who at the moment managed to catch up to Mavis and is now battling her for 1st place. And so Cassius managed to catch up to I Hate God. And so they both go through the annoying jump and into the speedy section. And so Mavis is preventing Octopus from overtaking her. But unfortunately for Mavis, that doesn't last very long, as the GTO gets a bit unstable on the second jump and overshoots the corner, with Octopus taking first while she falls down to second. And so they go into the braking zone, with Mavis now having to deal with Drip KA. And unfortunately for I Hate God, Cassius managed to take 4th place away from her, meaning that now she is in the danger zone. And that also means that catching up to the others might be a little easier now for Apollo. And so here we go on to the speed section, where Octopus instantly manages to zoom off into the distance, while the others just casually drift their way into the 4th lap. And so on the straight, Octopus speeds past the replay camera, while Mavis and Drip KA follow him. And so they make it to this twisty corner, which they easily manage to clear, while Cassius overshoots this corner yet again, making his job of catching up to Drip KA even more difficult. All while interrupting Octopus is just chilling in 1st place, as he happens to be the fastest one here. Anyways, now that Drip KA managed to successfully catch up to Mavis, he is trying to overtake her but doesn't seem to be succeeding as of right now. And Cassius is just existing, as he now no longer has to deal with being in the danger zone, while Apollo along with I Hate God are slowly getting left in the dust. And so here we go on to the speed section yet again, where Cassius managed to magically catch up to Drip KA. And so they make their way to the jumps, where Mavis learns from her last mistake and remembers to take this corner safely. And so both Drip KA and Cassius make it to this corner, and now they're heading off into the braking zone. But before they get there, Cassius tries to overtake Drip KA but fails yet again. In the meantime, Apollo made the littlest, minuscule of progress in catching up to I Hate God, who is sitting in 5th place, as she is pretty much screwed at the moment. But hey, at least they're not doing as bad as Gambling and Walta, because unlike you two who still have a chance of catching up, Walta and Gambling are so far behind there's literally no hope of them making it any further into the tournament. And I'm guessing it really does suck to be them, being the funny cars but never actually being able to keep up with the competition. And I do actually know a bit about that myself. But enough of that, we are now on to the 5th and final lap, with Drip KA's battle against Mavis as intense as always, and Cassius being unable to catch up like usual. And so the long corner comes around, where absolutely nothing changes, except Mavis maybe being able to pull away from Drip KA a bit. And so after making it through the long corner, they make it to the smallest uphill in history, where Cassius tries to catch back up to Drip KA and magically succeeds as he makes it to the annoying jump. As for I Hate God, I think at this point she just gave up at trying to catch back up to Cassius, as she is sitting far behind with Apollo, who also ended up getting this unfortunate fate. And so, Cassius makes it to the jumps, with him being unable to overtake Drip KA, which at this point is not really surprising. But what is quite surprising is Mavis being able to build up a gap over Drip KA. And so, they successfully make it to the uphill section, and yeah, let's just not drag things out for much longer. Interrupting Octopus finishes first and gets a spot into round 2. And Mavis follows him in second, while Drip KA and Cassius are right behind in 3rd and 4th. Which means that I Hate God really must hate God now, because she's been eliminated alongside Apollo, Walta, and Gambling. And that's about it. With the redemption round out of the way, we now have 24 competitors ready to compete in round 2. Anyways, if you enjoyed, which I know you did, like the video, and maybe even consider subscribing. I would really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in round 2.